Hi, I'm Janice Milusich, teacher for the visually impaired and blind and author of I Hear the Snow, I Smell the Sea. Today I'm going to share with you a reading of my picture book, along with some of the Storybox items that I've gathered to go along with the story. As you may know, Storybox items are great for concept development and literacy development. They're also fantastic for making illustrations more accessible. The illustrations for this picture book were done by Chris Raschka. And as you can see in the cover beside me, he's used 4 colors to signify the 4 seasons that Nevaeh, the main character who's pictured in the front cover, is going to explore. She's going to be using her senses of taste, touch, hearing, and smell to explore those seasons. Where I live, seasons change. I know because my fingers and toes, my ears, my mouth, and nose all tell me so. In this illustration, Nevaeh is pictured beside a tree on the left side of the page, and in front of her appears to be a garden with shrubs and flowers, and overhead a bird is flying. Winter, when a chill gust snatches my scarf and frost kisses my cheeks, I know winter's come. Outside sounds are hushed. The snow has quieted them. The air smells cold and whispers a secret. More snow is on its way. In this illustration, Nevaeh and her mom are huddled together and the wind is pulling at Nevaeh's scarf. And before them is an evergreen with a cardinal, a red bird, perched on that branch. Scrunch! With each step, my boots sink, and here are the boots from the Storybox. And the snow creaks hello. Want to build a snowman, Nevaeh asks Mommy. Yes, I say. And my mittens go thumpity thump. And here are those mittens from the Storybox. I take Mommy's hand. She bends and her arm reaches. As she moves, I bend and reach too, till my mittens touch. Let's find out what she's going to touch. Snow! We pack it into a ball, then roll it along the ground. I feel it grow bigger and bigger. We make 1, 2, 3 snowballs. Big, here's the big one from the Storybox. Medium, and small. And stack them up. So I also have developed a little stacking pole, and you could probably use something like a paper towel holder, and the children can work on the concepts of big, medium, small, and stack. You can see the ball on to the holder, the big one, and then the medium one, and the small one gave him a face because the main character will be doing that in the story. So there's our snow friend. My snow friend needs a face, I say, and I pull my hat over my ears and something to wear. It's freezing out. Mommy and I trudge to our front steps. Inside, I pick out 2 big buttons for eyes, a pointed carrot nose, and a fuzzy pipe cleaner that I bend into a smile. Mommy finds a floppy pom-pom hat and a tasseled scarf. So you can extend as much as you want and as willing as the children are and interested as they are with the different items, with the buttons, with the long carrot nose, the fuzzy pipe cleaner. Here's the tasseled scarf or the fuzzy pom-pom hat. But depending on how their interest is going, you might want to shorten it up, but you know your children the best. So go with that. And this illustration shows Nevaeh and her mom. Looks like they might be in a kitchen. There's a window behind them, a table in front of them with all the items, a fruit bowl, a pitcher, and on the left side is a cat peering at them, and a clock is on the wall. Soon my snow friend is dressed for winter. And I'm going to stop there and show you what I did, the activity extension that you could have once your snow friend is dressed. Easy to make a little felt hat for him, just like in the picture was illustrated, and a scarf, if I can get it around him. There we go. He's dressed. There we go. Dressed for winter now. And the kids would have a lot of fun with that. The scent of wood smoke from a neighbor's fireplace threads the air. When I lift my nose to smell it better, I feel the soft tap of flurries against my cheeks. Stick out your tongue, Nanny. And catch the snowflakes, says Mommy. And I do, one by one by one. Spring. When birds sing and a cool breeze ruffles my hair, I know spring's come. Hyacinths, I cry, I can smell them. Could be, says Mommy. Let's go see. And Nevaeh's pictured there with her hands clasped in front of her and her face up, and around her are blossoms of flowers all over. My hand curls around her fingers. While we walk along crunching gravel and over the rise, I hear the gentle crush of grass beneath my feet. Here they are, says Mommy. I lean down, reaching, and find a hyacinth. With the pads of my fingers, and here's the hyacinth that you could have the kids explore. If it's spring season, maybe you can actually have a real hyacinth. If not, then these fabric ones are easy to get. With the pads of my fingers, I trace the curl of each thin, waxy petal, one above the other. The little flowers climb. Burying my nose in them, I breathe in their prettiness. Also, for an activity extension, I've had children work on pulling up the layers of a tissue paper flower. It's great fine motor skill development, and who doesn't like a tissue paper flower? I don't know. I do. So that's something that they might have fun doing. Zzz, what's that, I say? A bee? The sound moves near my ear, above my eye, over my head. My fingers search the air and bump Mommy's palm. It is Nevaeh, but remember, no touching. You don't want to frighten it. I won't scare you, little bee, I say. Bzzz. The sound makes my teeth tingle. And down deep in here, I think there is a bee. He's hiding, though. Hold on. Come out, Mr. Bee. I lost you in my bin. Here you go. Here he is. So you can have one that you've made with different textures on it for the kids to feel where the eyes are, or a replica of the bee. Listen, robins. Overhead one, no two birds chirp. And here's the robin. It's my favorite part of the Storybox item because it's got the sound effect right in it. And I think the kids will really enjoy that. They sound happy spring has come, says Mommy. Cheerily, cheerily, cheer up. I answer, I'm happy too. Summer. When the sun wraps me in a warm hug, I know summer's come. I step and tiny grains crowd my toes. Sand. Mommy pours a trickle into my palm and it spills through my fingers. So, of course, as you can guess, I will have sand. And most children do like the texture of sand. So if you have a chance to have like a bin where you can actually take some sand and pour it into the child's fingers so they can feel it spill through. I definitely have something underneath to catch it because it's going to be a bit messy. In this illustration, Nevaeh is standing to the side, the right side of the picture, and she's got a bathing suit on, and she's about ready to go down to the shore. Together we walk down the beach. Summertime smells reach my nose. You can have some smells with you. Hot dogs, sunscreen, peaches. So I have the sunscreen. And if they're in season, peaches would be great to have along with the story. Sounds drift past my ears, kids laughing, grown-ups talking, a radio playing. But the sound I like best is the waves. And I have a recording of it that everyone can listen to. Maybe. Okay. And you can also have the sounds that I mentioned before as kind of a game where the kids can guess what it is, or maybe they can match them up. For this, I have used onomatopoeia in this particular spread, and I get the kids involved in what onomatopoeia is. Besides a really long word, it's a written sound effect, and they get to help act out the sound effects after listening to the recording. So we practice quiet, shh first, and then ksh, the loud breaking of the waves. Shh, ksh, shh, ksh, quiet, loud, quiet, loud, quiet, loud. Mommy and I move closer. Droplets spray. They speckle my legs and arms as I dance on tippy toes. Suddenly, a big wave smacks me. Eee! I I shout, "Cold!" Laughing, I leap into the unstopping breeze. "Let's go in," I beg. "Yes, let's," Mommy answers. And the illustration shows Nevaeh and her mom holding hands at the edge of the shore, ready to go into the water. Holding hands, we bound through the breakers. Feet, legs, tummy, chest. Now only our heads are above the swells. I lean back into Mommy's arms and I'm floating. She lowers her arms and the water cradles me. The sun's rays warm me. And this would be a great page to maybe talk about personal reflections of when the children have floated maybe in a pool or a lake, or the sound and how that felt to them. But way too soon it's time to go. Together we tromp toward the beach. Along the shore, a last rush of ocean nips at my heels, and far away, I hear a seagull shriek. "Goodbye," I call. And in this illustration, Nevaeh is wrapped in a towel, and her mom has a basket, I guess, of their things over her shoulder, and they're looking back at the seagull that's squawking as they're getting ready to leave the beach. Autumn, when a puff of wind teases my jacket and my footsteps crunch across fallen leaves, I know autumn's come. Overhead, I hear a sound. "It's a flock of Canada geese way up high," says Mommy. "How high?" I ask. "Remember those steps we climbed up and up and up to the top of the lighthouse?" she says. "Higher than that." "I bet they're headed south for the winter," I say. Lifting my face to the sky, I honk back. Honk, and all the kids can have fun honking. And also, we can bring in the onomatopoeia that's throughout the book. In this illustration, Nevaeh and her mom do have their faces lifted to the sky, where they're facing the Canada geese that are flying overhead, and behind them is a tree that is losing its leaves. Mommy and I start to rake leaves into a pile. Scritch, scratch goes my rake again and again as I drag its prongs across the leaves. And here's my rake that is stuck in the leaves. So the kids could have fun trying to rake some leaves. If it's fall, they could use real fall leaves. If not, the fabric leaves are also useful. Our pile grows big, then bigger. It's so big now I can't stretch my arms around it. "Go ahead, Nene, and jump in," says Mommy. I take 2 steps back, skippity hop, and what is Nevaeh going to do? So this is a great page to have the kids predict what she might do. Plop! I dive into my bed of leaves. And in this illustration, Nevaeh has her arms overhead and her legs out like she's ready to splash down into those leaves. All of me explores the pile. Then I grab leaves by the armful and toss them into the wind. And that would be a fun activity to do with the kids. But again, they'd have to make sure that they cleaned up all their leaves. Chutter! I tilt my head toward the sound. "What is it, Mr. Squirrel?" I ask, but he doesn't answer. Instead, I hear him skitter scoot up a tree trunk. And that would be a fun activity to have the kids kind of reenact what skitter scoot up a tree trunk might be. From the tangle of my hair, from the collar of my sweater, I pluck scratchy bits of leaf. The air smells hopeful, like the garden after it's rained, and with the breeze comes a whiff of something sweet. Earth and leaves, apples and cinnamon. And if you have them, those are great scents, and the kids would enjoy that. Our neighbor, Mr. Martin, must be baking again. And in this illustration, Chris Raschka has shown Nevaeh and her mom sitting together. Nevaeh is in her mom's lap, and they are nestled beside a tree, also that's losing all its leaves. I lie back and breathe in wonders all around me. And for this last page of the book, Chris has chosen to use all 4 seasons in there, all 4 color blocks that signify the seasons, to show how Nevaeh explored each of them and absorbed all that she could about them. And he's got her pictured with her arms over her head tilted back, her eyes closed. She's really just soaking up all the beauty around her. Well, thank you so much for listening. I hope that the Storybox ideas were helpful to you and that you enjoy the story with your students and your children. Thanks so much.